Peace. What's the word, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tap in with the kid before I start building on the subject matter for the day. Got about an hour on my hand, man. Hour on my hand, man. Something important that I want to get off my chest today, man. So hopefully y'all got about an hour or so to spare, man. So what's the word? How y'all living? How y'all feeling? Talk to me before I start talking to y'all, man. Like I said, we got about an hour, man. We're gonna get this build out the way, man. We're gonna get this build going in about 2-3 minutes, man. Get y'all a chance to populate the chat. Talk to me. Let me know how y'all living and feeling. Montel, peace. What's the word? Everything is good my way, man. Everything is cool, man. Striving to stay peaceful, balanced, and centered, all that good stuff. Y'all know how it is. Trying to stay healthy out here. Just in peace, what's the word? Just peace, queen, what's happening? How y'all living? How y'all feeling? Hopefully, like I said, y'all striving to stay healthy, peaceful, balanced, all that good stuff, man. Powerful, all that. Magic realms, peace, what's happening, my brother? Eric, peace, what's happening? What's the word? Miss Donnie, peace, queen, what's going on? Polo man, peace, what's happening? What's the word? Y'all see the title of this stream, man, so y'all already know where I'm about to come with it, man. I'm not one of the ones that's afraid to talk about these white folks, man. I ain't afraid to do it. Sweet tea, peace, what's happening? I ain't afraid to do it. I didn't let my elders instill that type of fear into me, man. I don't let these platforms instill any fear in me. They delete me, they delete me. If they ban me, they ban me. Either way, the message will get out there, man. The cream always rises to the top. And again, the cream is the truth. The cream is the knowledge. The cream is the information. It always rises to the top, man. No matter how hard they strive to suppress it and keep it buried, it's going to always find its way to the top. So we're not really worried about it, man. A lot of people are afraid of these type of discussions. And a lot of times it's black folks that's afraid of these type of discussions simply because of the fear that's been instilled in us. Simply because of the fear that's been instilled in us, man. Like a lot of times when I start talking about white folks, a lot of the black people that be around me, whether it's family members, friends, associates, co-workers, they start looking at me like, here you go again. They be all in fear. They afraid to talk about white folks because they got to deal with them, or so they feel like. Or so they feel like. Again, if the shoe doesn't fit, then you don't have to wear it. So when I start talking about white folks, this is one thing that I've never concerned myself about. If I'm speaking the truth about white folks, man, and certain white people get offended, then obviously the shoe is fitting for them. If you are a white person and you listening to what I'm saying and it doesn't pertain to you, then you have to put that shoe on. Shoe don't fit. Shoe don't fit. But if I'm talking the truth, if I'm speaking the truth about white folks, and then I know, and these white folks start getting offended, then I already know what I'm saying is resonating with them. So we already know what type of white person we dealing with. If you a white person, you able to listen to me speak about your ancestors' wicked history, and you able to objectively and openly listen to it without getting into your feelings, then hey, we might can deal with you. We might can have a discussion with you. We might can have a discussion with you. Clocks in, peace, what's happening? Oh, just yeah, that rotator cuff. Oh man, yeah. That shoulder. Clocks in. I have not tapped into the Dave Chappelle special yet. I've actually been waiting. You know, I like to wait till things die down before I tap into them. And I haven't tapped into it yet. But when I tap into it, man, I'll probably briefly mention it. All I saw was they striving to cancel dude again. They always striving to It's crazy canceling comedians. That actually makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? They are comedians by title, by trade, by occupation. They're comedians. So I like how we canceling comedians. That doesn't even make any sense, really. To cancel a comedian, man, just listen to how that sounds. So we gonna place limitations on what a comedian can joke about. You know, that don't even too sensitive of a world we live in. God is peace, queen. What's happening? What's happening? You know how YouTube do it. You know how YouTube do it when it comes to certain content. They don't want to give you the notification. We already know. We know what it is. But yeah, so yeah, clocks in. I haven't tapped into it yet, but I've already been seeing the articles talking about cancel Dave, this, that, and the third. I already pretty much got a good idea of what he was talking about. That led to that to those articles. of them trying to cancel dude. So I already pretty much got a good idea of what he was talking about. But again, we live in very sensitive times. Can't say anything. You can't even joke about it. You can't even be a comedian out here. There is no way that I would strive to be a comedian in this new day and age. You can't say anything. Anything you say will get you canceled. You are a comedian. Like, this is, you joke, you know. But again, Dave probably said some things that hit deeply, that resonated, that was truthful, and they couldn't take it. They can't tolerate it. It's like, all right, it's time to cancel, dude. It's time to cancel. Now, all of these comedians, what's crazy, before I get into the topic of this video, what's crazy is all these jokes that these comedians have made, these black comedians have made, talking bad about black women, and then some of the black women that are comedians that made jokes about black men, and then when the black comedians make jokes talking about one another, talking about their own people, nobody is saying anything about that. That's cool. That's cool. It's only when they mention certain groups of people that now it's time to cancel them. That everybody want to get sensitive. Want to get sensitive, man. But then when these comedians talk bad about their own people, everybody cool. We accepting it now. We laughing. Everything is funny now. But when they start talking about the alphabet community, now it's a problem and they must get canceled. But they can joke about their own kind all day, which is what they do. A lot of them do that. Joke about their own kind all day. That's cool. That's cool. That's funny. We slapping knees. Oh, yeah, this is hilarious. But once they start talking about that community, it's over. It's over. Infinite Divinity. Yeah, Paul Mooney. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Mentioned a lot of truth. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Justin. Yeah, for real. Yeah, yeah. Eddie Griffin is cool. Yeah, I fool with Eddie Griffin for sure. Yeah, I feel like he's underrated. And then at the same time, it's like they comedians at the end of the day. So it's like the way you look at athletes. A lot of us look at athletes and expect for them to be, you know what I'm saying, revolutionaries. It's like, man, these dudes are comedians. Like, I don't really expect many comedians to get up there and have a revolutionary, you know what I'm saying, perspective on life. They are comedians for the most part. I expect for them to make me laugh. You know, Dave Chappelle just different, but I don't really expect much from a comedian. You know what I'm saying, in regards to like the political perspective. I'm not looking to them for that. I want them to make me laugh for the most part. You know, Dave Chappelle, like I said, is just different. He different, you know. But for the most part, I'm not looking for a comedian to give me that type of insight, you know. So the fact that Dave Chappelle is using that platform to do that, that's what's throwing everybody off. It's almost like when that athlete decides to speak out politically and they say you need to just shut up and dribble. See, they don't expect that. So when a person is labeled as a comedian, it throws them off when they go up there and they have a political perspective that makes some sense. And that's what Dave Chappelle, that's what's happening with Dave Chappelle. They expecting for you to go up there, act the fool, talk about your own people and make them laugh. They're not expecting for that comedian to come up there with a strong political perspective and stance. Throws them off, just like when an athlete does the same thing. They want you to shut up and dribble, shut up and box, shut up and throw the football. That's it. So they're not expecting for a black comedian to have a strong political stance or perspective. When you do that, then it's time for you to get canceled. So that's all that's happening, man. The comedians, they expect for them to go up there with a bunch of nonsense jokes, make you laugh, then walk off set. They're not expecting for that social commentary or what we call social equality. They don't want that. They don't want that at all. That's why they don't like Dave, man. He's using his platform for the wrong thing, man. You can't come up there speaking the truth. This ain't what that's about. This ain't what this is for. You are a comedian. Make us laugh, is what they saying. Yeah, Magic. Yeah, Cat from time to time gonna go in and let you know something, but they didn't already pretty much. They didn't label Dave crazy, but they label Cat Williams crazy for sure. So like a lot of times now when Cat come up and say something, then people don't take him seriously half the time, which is crazy, man. But getting back to the subject matter at hand. Subject matter at hand, man. Y'all see the particular question. Why do some grown black men fear the white man? What motivated or inspired this particular stream? As y'all know, you know, I'm part of the 5% Nation of Guys and Earths, and we have lessons, 120. We have to study the 120. And this particular stream was inspired by the lesson of the day, because it's the ninth. So in the 1 to 36, which is part of our lessons, the question states, the ninth question, the ninth degree, say, why does he fear the devil now that he's a big man? Basically, why does he fear the devil now that he's a grown man? And when you go to the 10th degree in the same lesson, say, because the devil taught him how to eat the wrong foods. So that answers the question. So you got a lot of, like I've stated in previous streams, a lot of times, the worst advice I've ever gotten in my life has come from elder black men. And this is a reflection of that degree. Why does he fear the devil now that he's a big man? Why are these elder black men giving me this passive, submissive advice when it comes to the white man? Again, you go to the 10th degree, because the devil taught him how to eat the wrong foods. It's all programming. So when you're looking at these older black men, you are looking at some terribly programmed black men. That is why a lot of times you get some overly passive and submissive advice, because these older black men, they think that we just have to learn how to deal with these white folks. We just have to learn how to deal with the mistreatment, the discrimination. We can't be getting on these platforms, speaking our minds, this, that, and the third, simply because they didn't do it. Simply because they just held their tongues and they just sat there and worked for these white folks, man, and took all the mistreatment and took all the discrimination from these white folks. They expect for us to do that because they are severely programmed. So they can't understand when you young and you have that revolutionary type of energy. And it's like, man, I'm not about to be working for these white folks, man. They can't understand that. When you say something like that to a lot of these elder black men, they don't understand what you're saying. They don't understand they don't understand that type of energy. What do you mean you're not going to work for these white folks? What are you going to do? They don't think it's possible. It's almost like they don't think it's possible to survive and thrive on your own. Man, I'm going to tell you some advice that I got from some older black men. And this advice is trash when you really think about it. I done had older black men tell me something along the lines of, give the white man 40 hours a week, and then on the weekends, you focus on doing your own thing. Listen to how that sounds, man. We're going to let that resonate. Give the white man 40 hours of your week. And then on the weekends, you try to do your own thing on the side. Why can't we reverse that? Why is the advice not to do your own thing 40 hours out the week? And if you want to make some extra money, get that to the white folks and they corporations. Man, I had some dude, they told me, give them 40 hours of your week and then do your own thing on the side. That's the advice that I was given by elder black folks. So basically, your 9 to 5, you got to work for the white folks for your 9 to 5. When it comes to making some money on the side, then that's when you can do your own thing. Like, it's not possible to do your own thing full time. That's some advice that I was given by several of them. Like that's the advice. Zero, we don't have to Zero, I'm gonna give you a jewel that I just gave him. We don't have to specify anything when it comes to white folks, man, for the most part. We don't have to do it. Again, if the shoe doesn't fit, you don't have to wear it. Like that's how simple it is. Just like they didn't created all these images of black people in the media in regards to criminals, thugs, gang. They didn't criminalize our image. But if the shoe don't fit me, I don't have to wear it. So they don't have to specify. How many times you look up in the media and you see an image like me that's responsible for something that's negative? But I know what type of person I am. So there is nothing that needs to be specified. If the shoe don't fit, I don't have to wear it. I know that my image, I know that my image is feared by a lot of folks. I know when some white folks see me, I know when some white women see me, they clutching their purses or they gonna walk on the other side of the street. This stuff still happens to me. So there's nothing that needs to be specified. I know I'm not about to take anything from your purse, so I'm not offended when you cross the street. It is what it is. Matter of fact, it's just funny to me because I know I'm not that type of person. But I don't have to explain anything. Nothing needs to be specified. I'm not about to stop that lady like, hey, lady, why are you crossing the street? You don't need to put all black people in the box. If you feel the need to cross the street based off of the media and the type of images that they done pushed to you in regards to my image, then that's on you. I know I'm not about to take anything from out of your purse. I know I'm not about to rob you. I know I'm not about to beat you. I know I'm not about to chase you, stalk you. Like, I know I'm not about to do anything like that. So I'm comfortable. Go ahead and cross the street. Matter of fact, I'm cool. That's giving me more space. That's giving me more space. If you want to decide to live in fear, then be my guest. So I'm not out here looking for anything to be specified. I quite frankly do not care. Like, I do not care at all, man. Again, I know my image comes with a lot of negativity. A lot of negativity. And has anything been specified on my end? No. Nothing has been specified on my end. The way that they have criminalized my image, the way people feel about locks, and I'm talking about on a mainstream scale. The way people feel about locks, the way people feel about black men with locks, nothing was specified. A lot of people view this stuff in a negative light, and there's nothing that I can do about it, no matter how many times somebody tries to specify otherwise. It's a lot of people that fear me simply because of the way that I look and simply because of the way that I wear my hair. And it is what it is. I know I'm not that type of person in my heart. So I'm not out here to prove anything to anybody. I'm not out here to prove anything to anybody. Our ancestors had to deal with a lot of mistreatment, and they was out here trying to make up science to prove that black people as a whole were inferior. Nothing was specified then. Nothing was specified then. Whole while we out here building this country, which is the proof in and of itself that we're not inferior. But for the longest, we had to endure that type of so-called science. Literally, like, I could pull up books. They was out here using scientists. They're scientists to show and prove that black people are inferior, and that's the reason that justified the slavery. Like, we can't be nah. So we didn't have to endure a little too much here. We didn't have to endure a little too much. So it is what it is. When we say the white man, if you're not that white man, then it doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply to you at all. There is nothing like it just doesn't apply to you. If you're not the white man that we talking about, it doesn't apply to you. It just simply doesn't. Again, like I said, I have plenty of conversations. I'm not one of the ones. It's almost equivalent to trying to prove you're not racist because you have black friends. It's like it's no need to what we say make knowledge born. It's no need to express that. It's no need to express that because honestly, that's doing nothing to somebody such as myself saying that you're not racist because you have black friends. So all of that type of stuff is unnecessary. It's no need for me to specify what type of white people I'm talking about because you know what type of white person I'm talking about. We know what white man we talking about. We know. We already know. We know which ones we talking about, man. But again, we talking about something that's psychological. So I'm gonna give you another jewel, Zero, for instance. I'm gonna give you another jewel. While you may think that some of this stuff don't apply to you because you may not be a certain type of way, it does. Because when I'm talking about why do some grown black men fear the white man, you don't understand that simply by you being a white man, because of the way we have been psychologically conditioned, there are going to be black men that fear you simply because of the way we have been conditioned and programmed. It's going to be black people that simply view you as superior due to the way that we have been conditioned and programmed. That's not to your fault, but that's the way the system has been designed and manufactured. That's how everything has been designed and manufactured. Now your piece, what's happening? That's the way things have been designed and manufactured. I mean, literally, you got black people walking around with a white image of Christ in their crib right now. It's psychology behind it. Psychology behind it. Psychology behind it, man. We've been programming. This is 2021, and y'all still think that this stuff is not relevant. It is because again, we still got people that are worshiping these white images, man. As we have talked about several times, man. Still worshiping these white images, man. So when you worshiping these white images, you viewing these white images as superior, and again, you viewing yourself as inferior. This is creating that fear. This is that fear. This is that fear. Again, that's part of the wrong foods that we are talking about. That's the wrong foods. And yeah, Magic Ren, the generational trauma is part of the wrong food, because again, you know where that trauma came from. Like when they used to take the slave man. And again, this is all stuff that was written in that Willie Lynch letter, man. You want to instill that fear in the nation. You take the strongest of that nation. So you take the strength of that nation, which the strength would be the black man, and you humiliate that black man, that strength, in front of his woman and the children. And that's how you weaken the nation. So that's what they did. They took the strength, the muscle, which would be a black man, and they took that black man, the strength, the muscle, and humiliated him in front of his women, in front of the children. That's what they did. And that's how you started. That's the origin of the generational trauma. We're going to take the muscle, we're going to humiliate, kill, beat to death, or half to death. We're going to take that muscle, humiliate them in front of the wife, in front of the children. And they're going to pass that trauma down. They're going to pass the trauma down. That's exactly what happened. That's where the generational trauma began. That's where it began. Oh yeah, clock saying we definitely got to recondition. We definitely got to recondition. Zero, you can't nitpick now, man. Come on. You know what I'm saying? I didn't shouted you out several times. I didn't mention you several times in previous streams. Now, come on now. We can't play that type of game, man. It's a few of y'all that be in the stream, man. When I catch y'all, I definitely say something. Bonafide is one of them. You one of them. Now, come on now. We're not about to nitpick. That's not what we gonna do. We're not gonna nitpick, and we're gonna point out one time where I didn't say anything to you and ignore the times where I did. We're not gonna nitpick now. We can't do that. We're not nitpicking. We ain't got time for those type of games, man. Oh yeah, clocks in for sure. Definitely got to recondition. Definitely got to recondition, man. And it's sad because, and I'm gonna give y'all a Jew, man. I just had I had a conversation, man. I'm telling y'all, I'm the black sheep of the family, and it's crazy that they call it the black sheep. Again, man, just the type of the mind tricks they play. It's called black sheep, and again, that's viewed in a negative light. Black sheep to me is something that's good. I enjoy being the black sheep of the family. I feel like that's the best type of sheep to be. If you're gonna be one, be a black sheep. But at the end of the day, man, I done had a conversation, man, because I'm the black sheep in the family. So if there's anybody in my family that is starting to deviate away from things like religion or eating a certain type of way, I'm one of the ones that they communicate with or contact, man. So I had conversation with a family member, and the family member is starting to get upset with other family members because they are coming into certain truths when it comes to like religion and things of that nature, man. And I have told you all how religious my family is. We come from down south, come from Mississippi, so y'all know how that can be. Y'all know how that could be as a Baptist or Christian, Catholic, things along those lines. So the family member was expressing to me that they had a conversation with the moms, and the conversation revolved around hoodoo, and I guess like Christianity and things of that nature. I'm already knowing how this conversation is going. Anytime you start talking about African spirituality in relation to Christianity or the Baptist church, the Catholic church, things along those lines, I know how that conversation is going to go, dealing with my family and dealing with a lot of other people's families as well. So before she even was able to explain how this conversation went down, I'm already knowing. I'm like, yep, came across some information about hoodoo. You've been studying it, been reading about it, been studying the African spiritual systems. You felt the need to have a conversation about it with your moms, with your other family members, and they were not receptive to it. They probably called some of it evil. They probably called it wicked. They probably called it witchcraft. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is how the conversation is going. And I already know like that type of stuff, man, it makes me mad. It kind of grinds my gear. For the simple fact, it's hard to deal with lost family members, and it's something that you almost a lot of times have to force yourself to deal with if you're going to be amongst your family. And this type of stuff can get a little draining mentally, because you feel like out of all the people that you're going to deal with, your family should be the ones that's at least semi open to new information coming from you. But we already know 99% of the time that is not the case at all, especially when it comes to like African spiritual systems. And I told her, and y'all heard me talk about this in the stream I did a few days ago in regards to the origin of Jesus in the first place. I was like, dude, hoodoo and voodoo and all that type of stuff. I said that stuff is more connected to us than these religions that our families are pushing on us. So I said those practices are closer to home than a lot of these religious practices. And a lot of these religions have gotten their practices from the African spiritual system. So I said, man, it's crazy that they shun you for introducing that to them. Oh, wow, they are practicing things that striving to emulate these African spiritual systems. And I said, see, that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. That's that, again, being fed the wrong foods. If you know what hoodoo is, a basic knowledge on it, like our enslaved ancestors, this is part of the origin of hoodoo. Our enslaved ancestors, they utilized the hoodoo practices to basically like protect themselves. And it was a tool that was utilized to unify some of our enslaved ancestors. Like they were practicing hoodoo to stay protected from these white folks and then to unify. Now, of course, the origins precede slavery. And it goes back to like West Africa or West African ancestors and things along those lines. But for the most part, the hoodoo that was brought here to America or that was here in America came from our enslaved ancestors, like unifying, banding together to implement these practices, man, to protect themselves from these white folks. What is harmful about that? And a lot of times, because our ancestors were like denied medical treatment from these white folks, hoodoo was another form of like alternative treatment to ailments and diseases and things along those lines. So we had we had to create systems, or we had to take systems that we got from home, the motherland, and we had to bring them here because we were getting denied treatment here. So they done made us view our own practices in a negative light, call it wicked, black magic, witchcraft, all of that. That's them that made you fear that. That's them that got you fearing your own culture. That doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't even make any sense for a black person to be hearing somebody talk about hoodoo or voodoo and all that type of stuff and be like, oh, that's negative. That's witchcraft. That's this, that, and the third. And I dropped a jewel on. I dropped a jewel on my family member, man. I had to drop a jewel on her because I already knew where the conversation was going. A lot of people view hoodoo, voodoo, all that type of stuff in a negative light. They view it in a negative light because and this is the thing. They like to focus on this. They like to focus on this part of it because they started focusing on spells and things like that. And they say a lot of people, they use those things in a negative light. Well, I simply brought up a different perspective from a family member, from a cousin. I was like, you know what? I said, people don't realize prayer is the same thing. Prayer is not something that's positive or negative. There are a lot of people that use prayer in a negative light also. People pray for things that they should not have, that they don't need all the time. People literally pray for the destruction of other people. So people have literally used prayer in a negative light as well. And prayer could be something that's deemed as magic. It's simply a tool for manifestation. So they got you viewing spells and all that type of stuff as something that's negative because you've had corrupt people use it in a negative sense. But what about the people that have used prayer in a negative light? What's the difference? There have been plenty of people who use so-called spells for positive reasons. Just like you have some people that use prayer for positivity. So there's no difference. There's no difference at all. It all is a tool of manifestation. It's concentrated energy. Like that's literally what it is. It's concentrated energy. Concentrated energy. So when somebody is crazy, man, when somebody burn the sage, light the incense, all this type of stuff, man, you view it as negative. You view it as witchcraft. You view it as wicked. You view it as evil. But people can pray all day. And a lot of people pray for a lot of people pray for the wrong things out here. So what's that? So what's that? When somebody prays for something that's evil, when somebody prays for something, oh, I get it. That's devil intervention. Like, that's the devil. That's what that is, huh? That's what that is. Oh yeah, infinite divinity for sure. Like it's crazy when I say, like I said, they gave us the wrong foods, man. Those are the wrong foods. They have got us afraid of our own culture. Literally, they have got us afraid of ourselves. Like that makes no sense, and we worship in their way of life. And a lot of the things that listen, a lot of things that are in their culture, they stole it from us and just whitewashed. And they got us afraid of our own culture. And they stole a lot of that culture from us and whitewashed it to create their own culture. And they got us worshiping these images, these deities, doing these things that's giving them all the energy and the power. And that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. And again, like I'm not saying I don't even practice all of these things, man, but I did the knowledge to them. And a lot of times that's where the disconnect is, man. A lot of the people, a lot of our family members that are religious, they don't want to crack open a book. They don't want to research these systems that we're talking about. So again, when you don't understand something, you are liable to be afraid of it. A lot of fear stems from misunderstanding. When you start studying these things, the fear leaves you. Like when I started to study voodoo, and hoodoo, like when I started to crack open books about these things, I was like, man, what is everybody afraid of? Like this ain't nothing. Like this ain't nothing. Like this ain't nothing. Like nothing to be afraid of here. Like what is everybody talking about? What is everybody talking about? Like for the longest, like I was caught up in that. Like for the longest, when it came to like for Dune and stuff like that, I was like, nah, that's crazy. I ain't fooling with it. I had no knowledge of it though. Man, when I started studying that stuff, I said, "What? This is what people are afraid of. This is what people are saying is evil. There's nothing evil about this. Literally, nothing evil about it. Literally, nothing. Nothing is evil about it. When I read the few books that I read on it, I'm like, dude, what's the problem? Zero. Appreciate the donation. Appreciate the donation. But yeah, I was like, what's the problem? And then a lot of people don't understand. I mentioned somebody said Haiti used it to defeat the French. A lot of people don't understand too that they were practicing the voodoo, but then a lot of them were Catholics. So people don't understand that some of this stuff is closely related to the religion in the first place. Like again, a lot of the Haitians that were practicing voodoo, a lot of them were Catholics. Like people don't understand that this stuff is like it's a lot of it is connected. People don't understand. People don't understand it. People don't understand it at all. Like people don't understand the connection at all. Like a lot of our Haitians, when they was using the voodoo and all that type of good stuff, man, to defeat the French, a lot of them were Catholics. Y'all can look that up, man. That could be validated. That could be confirmed. Our city rep, okay. He say this might be a deep question. So, what is witchcraft and is it evil? What is witchcraft? So, we not even I can give you my definition of it, but I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna look up the definition of witchcraft. We're gonna look up the definition. This is how we do it. This is how you do proper research. I don't want to just give you my definition. I'm not gonna do that because that'll be me trying to force a perspective or an outlook on you. So what we do, we look up the definition of witchcraft. This is what we do. All right, so you got witchcraft. The practice of magic, especially black magic, the use of spells. That's a definition for witchcraft. Now, if I read you this definition, the practice of magic, especially black magic, the use of spells. Now, that in and of itself, does that definition sound like something that's evil? Like out the gate, I'm gonna just ask y'all that question before I go on. Now, if I read that definition to you, does that sound like something that's evil? The definition that I just read about witchcraft, does that sound like something that's evil? Just out the gate, just off of that definition. Does that definition sound like something that's evil? Black Nitro, peace, peace, what's happening? So again, witchcraft, the practice of magic, especially black magic. See, they try to keep especially black magic. And that's what's important though. The especially black magic part is what's important because of the way that they try to get us to view black magic. That's what's important about it. The practice of magic. But see, they say especially black magic. That's important. That's important to trick knowledge, man. Elijah Muhammad warned us about trick knowledge. It's trick knowledge, man. When you read the definition of witchcraft, it's going to say the practice of magic, especially black magic. That's how they get you. We gonna define why though. The use of spells. Then when you say, okay, especially magic. Okay, magic ain't bad. Magic ain't bad. But then it's like, all right, let's look up black magic. This is where the trick knowledge comes into play. This is how they get us using this language. This is how they get us. When you look up black magic, they're going to tell you black magic now is magic involving the supposed invocation of evil spirits for evil purposes. This is how they get us. They have associated black with evil. This is how they get us. This is how they make us view ourselves in a negative light. So then when you look up black magic, which it was in the definition for witchcraft, the use of magic, especially black magic. Witchcraft didn't say the use of black magic in and of itself. It said the use of magic, especially black magic. That's how they get you. Then you look up black magic and it says magic involved in the supposed invocation of evil spirits for evil purposes. Why is black magic associated with evil spirits? Who taught them that? Who taught them? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Magic involving the supposed invocation of evil spirits for evil purposes. See, that's how they get you. That's how they get you. They're gonna label it black magic, man. They're gonna tell you black magic. That's when you trying to get those evil spirits and use them for evil purposes. When you start really studying, getting to the root of black and everything that's associated with black, you're not about to get evil. That's the trick knowledge. See, Pastor Troy made a song called Vice Versa. Basically, what if everything that you learned, like what if everything they have taught you in life has been a lie and the total opposite has been the truth? That's what vice versa. That's what that song was all about. That's what that song was all about. So again, when you break that down, man, they done told you black magic is something that's evil. Again, we're going to go back to the vice versa song. BB, I disagree with magic being evil 100% of the time. Because what do you even mean by evil? Like, I disagree with magic being something that's evil simply when you look at what the word magic means. What does magic mean? See, we're going to go back. We're going to go back to this. We look up definitions here, man. We're going to look up definitions. The power of apparently influencing the course of events by using mysterious or supernatural forces. All right, if my mind is the supernatural force, because the mind is definitely something that's supernatural. The power of apparently influencing the course of events by using mysterious or supernatural forces. How is that evil? See, we got to stop labeling words evil. We got to stop labeling concepts good or bad. These things are not evil by themselves. How can a word in and of itself be something that's evil? Again, it's like the phrase, like when they say guns don't kill people, people kill people. Again, it's all about your perception. All right, somebody can take that gun, then you have a mass shooting. Okay, boom. You can look at that gun and say, man, guns are a problem. Then somebody try to break in your crib and you got a gun on you, you defended yourself and you got rid of the person that was striving to kill you. Now that gun was a tool that was used to do something good. This is all that this stuff is. These are all tools. These concepts in and of themselves are not something that's good or bad, not something that's positive or negative. We got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. Your mind is a supernatural force. And with your mind being that supernatural force, you can literally manifest whatever type of life that you want to manifest if you plant the proper seeds and you continue to focus on those seeds. You continue to focus on those seeds. There is nothing evil about it. There is nothing evil about you writing something out, writing your objectives out. And then those objectives, whatever you wrote down, you manifest them into a physical reality. That can be considered magic, alchemy, whatever you want to call it. There's nothing evil about that. When I said I wanted to become a trainer, I wrote it down. That was a spell. I wrote it down. You can consider that a spell, which is why they call it spelling. So I wrote it down. Wrote it down. I used the power of my mind, which is again a supernatural force, because how many people really understand the mind? The mind is a mysterious and a supernatural force because people don't understand the mind. Where is the mind? Where is the mind? So again, if we're going to go off of the definition of magic, then the mind fits the criteria, the power of apparently influencing the course of events by using mysterious or supernatural forces. The mind is definitely a mysterious and supernatural force. Definitely. Because again, if I can, you can tell me where the brain is at, but where is the mind? Where is your mind located? Where is the mind located? So when we start talking about the mind, where is that located? There's a mysterious and supernatural force. Can't nobody show you a subconscious mind. Nobody can show you a conscious mind. I can't show you these things. So these are supernatural and mysterious forces. So according to the definition of magic, the power of apparently influencing the course of events by using mysterious or supernatural forces. Let me break it down my terms. Magic can simply be the power of apparently influencing the course of events by using your mind. So if magic is evil, then if you've ever used your mind to get a desired outcome, that's evil. And I disagree with that. I disagree with that 100%. I disagree with that 1000%. 1000%. Because again, you can't show me physically. You cannot show me a mind. You can show me a brain, but you cannot show me a mind. If I ask you to show me a subconscious mind, where is the subconscious mind? You can't show me that. BB, that's not, see, that's what we are saying. See, BB, that's what we saying. See, again, all of this type of stuff can be used for good. It can be used for evil. Magic in and of itself as a concept by definition is not evil. It's not good or bad. You can take magic and you can use it for good. You can use it for bad, just like you can do it with everything. Like I said, you can take prayer and you can use prayer for good. You can use prayer for bad. People do it all the time. But the prayer in and of itself is not something that's good or bad by itself as just a word and a concept. Magic is the same. Magic is the same. It is the same. See, again, this is what we are talking about. And BB, with all due respect, once we start mentioning Jesus, now the conversation has to change because, again, I'm not into all of the Jesus talk, this, that, and the third. Not into that type of talk. But again, if we're going to mention that, then we got to really deal with some history here in regards to Jesus himself. CB, that's what I'm saying. CBB, that's what I'm saying. See, it's hard to have the conversation. It's hard to have a conversation when you tell me to read the book of Enoch, when you tell me to read things like this, because again, that's like me striving to tell you read, like study, like study ancient Kemet, study the doggone tribe, study Yoruba, study all of these African spiritual systems. Like that's like me telling you to do that. You obviously may not be striving to embrace that type of culture, embrace that type of way of life. So again, like I can find you several texts where it's telling you that this is the way of life. This is a part of our culture. But you got to be willing to receive that. Just like you think me reading the book of Enoch is conveying whatever point you trying to get to me or get across to me. So I can find you several texts in regards to our ancestors that's corroborating what it is that I'm saying about magic. And they're going to tell you like there's nothing evil about it. But you would beg to differ based off of your cultural upbringing. And this is what creates the problem. This is why I said they have disconnected us from our culture, from our way of life. Therefore, it's hard to have a lot of communications. It's hard to have a lot of conversations when we so disconnected. When we so disconnected, man, it's hard to have these conversations because our ancestors would not be viewing it in this type of light. They wasn't viewing it in this type of light, man. Like these words, they made these words bad because they didn't have a certain type of power. They didn't have these, they didn't understand. They didn't understand, which is why they started burning a lot of those women. Y'all know about the Salem witch trials and things like that. They didn't understand the intuition of women. Like they didn't understand that type of phenomenon at the time. They didn't understand what was going on, man. They didn't understand that like certain women can be in tune with things that they not in tune with. So they said, oh no, you in tune. Like, how did you know this was gonna happen? You a witch, burn them down. Burn them down. How you seeing things that we can't see? How you tapped into stuff that we can't tap into? Burn them. You must be a witch. Our ancestors would have never done that. If a woman, we know about the woman's intuition. We know that she can be tapped into nature in a way that we cannot. So when they give us a vision, we ain't about to burn her down. We about to say, oh man, she had a vision. Let's pay attention to that vision. So we wasn't viewing these things in a negative light, man. They out here with burn. I'm telling y'all, it's a lot of women. You study the Salem witch trials. It's crazy. The reason some of those women were burned in the first place, like just some of the visions, like it was crazy. If this would have been 2021, you would understand, like, nah, you ain't finna burn nobody for that. E-reacts is crazy. Like, we wasn't, we not finna burn, we not about to burn a woman for that intuition. Like now we understand what that is, intuition. Boom. They tapped in, they connected in a way that we not, just like we connected in a certain way that they may not be, but we not about to burn them for that. Mess around and have a dream that's accurate, and oh no, you a witch, we gotta burn them, we gotta drown them, we gotta behead them, we gotta do all this type of stuff. No, 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 that's not, we don't move like that. We embrace that. Oh, you hey, hold on, you tapped in? Let me know something. Let me know something. Yeah, Kuman, that's and that's how it is. Like I'm not about to label a word or a phrase or a concept in and of itself evil. It's not gonna do that. Like I'm not gonna do that, man. Especially something along the lines of magic. Because then when we start separating magic from manifestation, it's like, how is that even possible? That's why, again, I view them as one and the same. When we start talking about spells, or again, like I read the definition of magic, the power of apparently influencing the course of events by using mysterious or supernatural forces, like, man, you manifesting. You manifesting, clocks in, long way to go. That's why I continue to talk about the things that may be uncomfortable to talk about, because we got a very long way to go. And that's why when people start talking about progress, I'm like, where? I'm like, where? Where are we really making the progress? And Jason, peace, what's happening? But again, like I said, we gotta be open, man. Dean, peace, what's that? We gotta be open to these conversations, man, because again, it's not comfortable. Like y'all gotta understand, like I said, for the most part, a lot of us, we have come from a religious background, man. So I understand, like, some of this stuff is not comfortable to come across. And that's how I was when I was first getting this information. But the thing of it is, I didn't close myself off. I didn't say, man, this information is going against what I believe in at this current moment. I kept reading. That's the only way to really, that's the only way to like strengthen your perspective. Read things that go against what it is that you are subscribing to. That'll make your conviction that much stronger. Shantae, peace, queen, what's happening? Orlando, peace for sure, for sure. And that's why I'm like, I'm not afraid to have some of these conversations. I know for the most part, I know the conditioning that my people deal with. So a lot of the perspectives that I have, man, a lot of people, man, listen, man, I get deleted all the time, and I get unfriended all the time, and I get called crazy. I get viewed in a lot of different ways, man, and they not necessarily the best or the most positive. So I'm already knowing, man. I'm already knowing that I don't have a popular opinion. But the thing of it is, man, I value research and I keep my mind open. So I never close my mind. You know what I'm saying? Again, as we say, I study life around me. So I'm literally studying everything. I'm studying all these different cultures to peep the connections and things along those lines, man. What are they all saying that lines up? You know, I'm peeping the connection, man. I'm studying. In order to peep the connection, you got to study. So a lot of times we unfairly criticize another way of life that we've never studied or lived. And that right there doesn't make any sense to me. So I had to open my mind. I say, look, I'm gonna have to study all these different cultures so I can make sense of it. So I can like really understand, is this way of life for me? Is it not for me? In order for me to thoroughly understand that, I have to study these other cultures, because how can I embrace one culture and say that it's right and exact and all these other cultures are wrong if I have not studied them? I cannot do that. I honestly cannot do that. I honestly can't tell you that your culture is incorrect if I haven't studied it nor tried to live it out. How can I tell you that? Again, this always goes back to how I eat. When somebody try to tell me how I'm eating is incorrect and they never went vegan a day in their life, it's like, you cannot do that. You can't do that. It doesn't even make any sense. How can you do that? How can you tell me I can't get everything I need from going plant-based and vegan if you never tried to do it, if you never did it? Like that, we cannot do that. So when it comes to criticizing other cultures, the only way that I will open my mouth about another culture is if I've studied it. If I don't know anything about another culture, then I'm not going to talk about it. So that's why I always talk a lot about the Bible and those type of cultures, because I lived it out, I studied it, taking classes on the stuff and all of that. So a lot of times that's why I speak on that way of life, because I've studied it. I lived it for a very long time. Zero, Killer Priest. Oh yeah, for sure. That's one of my favorite rappers, man. When I started coming into consciousness, man, I was that heavy mental. One of my favorite albums of all time. And his song Bible, man, that's one of the joints that encouraged me to just pick up the Bible and start reading and studying. Yeah, clocks in, and that's the thing. Like even outside of religion, like every culture just has a Jew. And I'm a man, I get flack for this every time. And this lets me know that fear, like we revolve around fear. This lets me know just how crazy fear is, man, and what did it do to you? See, we afraid of words, we afraid of concepts. I'm gonna tell you one thing that I was reading about, and this wasn't to become one, it was just to read about it, just to see what they talking about. But I started studying the Satanists. And that's how I knew. I was like, man, they preyed on y'all fear when they came out with that particular group using that name, the Satanists. I'm like, man, when you start studying it now, you start to really understand what they saying, man. They had people convinced just off of using the name, and this just displayed the ignorance of people. And they was like, man, they worshiping the devil, this, that, and the third. Man, when you start really studying them, you find out that they don't even believe in Satan. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like off the name of itself, like people were in fear. If you came and you mentioned that name, they automatically associated it with something, and they hadn't studied it at all. They hadn't studied it at all. Oh yeah, clocks in, man. I know a few Masons, man. I know a few Masons. And the Gnostics, man. Like I said, Sufism, as far as like Islam goes, Sufism is one of my favorite, if you want to call it religions, whatever you want to call it, man. Like I fool with Sufism, I fool with the Sufis 100%. But like I said, if I bring that type of perspective or that type of book to the average person, they're gonna associate it with something, man. And like they're not even gonna entertain that particular book. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all a classic book on to show y'all the type of studying, that you're gonna do, man. Like this book, everybody knows about this book, man. But this type of studying that you got to do to get acquainted with these perspectives out here, man. You just got to read stuff you may not want to read. But this book right here, The Secret Doctrine, I think it's two parts to this. I got both of them. This is part one, Secret Doctrine. Y'all done heard this name before, man. Y'all done came across this book before, man. But The Secret Doctrine. Secret Doctrine, man. It's a powerful little book here, man. It's about 700. What's it about? What is this one, man? What is this book? It's about 600 pages. H.P. Blavatsky. Y'all know that name. Y'all done heard that name. Y'all know what this name about. But this is how you get in tune. This is how you study them. This is how you master them. This type of book right here, Secret Doctrine. We got to read these books, man. We got to read these books. We got to see what they stole from us. We got to see what they trying to do with the stuff they stole from, man. You got to do the knowledge of these books, man. Like, look at The Secret Doctrine, the synthesis of science, religion, and philosophy. Gotta study, gotta read these books, man. Gotta read these books. Manly P. Hall, that's another one of them to study. Manly P. Hall. It's another one of them. That's another one of them to study. Y'all know what I mean by another one of them. Manly P. Hall, you gotta study him. Y'all know about Aleister Crowley. Jay-Z and them fool with Aleister Crowley. You gotta study some Aleister Crowley. A lot of those entertainers fool with Aleister Crowley, but you gotta study them. You gotta understand what's going on. In order to do that, you gotta understand them. You gotta study him. Blavatsky, I'm telling y'all, y'all know that name. You got to study it. You got to study. You got to see what they talking about. You got to see what they talking about. Trio Raw, you say, man, I don't play COD, man. I ain't picked up a controller in some years, man. I used to play heavy, play that stuff heavy in college, man. Not anymore, though. I be too much on the go. But yeah, that's a powerful book, man. Like I said, I got part 2 around here somewhere, man. I'm trying to see if I got any other books right in my sight, man, that I could bring up in regards to the subject matter, man. A lot of my books still boxed up, man, so I can't really go in with the recommendations on the books how I want to. But this is a good book, man. Secret Doctrine. Like I said, Manly P. Hall. Look into Manly P. Hall, man. Just look into him. Look into him. Magic Rings. I was reading a lot of Manly P. Hall when I first got into the game and started studying masonry and the history of Freemason, all that type of stuff, man. Manly P. Hall was somebody I came across, and I read a lot. I read a lot about Manly P. Hall. Can't remember the book off the top of my head, like the name of it, man. The Secret Destiny of America. That's the book I read by Manly P. Hall. The Secret Destiny of America. Secret Destiny of America, man. That's when I started to really understand the plans that they have for us, man. Secret Destiny of America, man. Manly P. Hall. Get that book. Book is an easy read, too. Get that book. You start to understand what's really going on. Everything starts to make sense. It starts to make sense. It starts to make sense. Manly P. Hall, man. That book, it starts to make sense, man, when you start studying them, man. And that's one thing I did. That's one thing that I did for sure. But the Secret Destiny of America, man. That's one of them books. That's one of them books, man. But again, y'all know about Aleister Crowley, though. Y'all know all about Aleister Crowley, man. I'm talking about all them entertainers back in the day used to fool with Aleister Crowley. Do as thou wilt. Y'all know about that statement. Y'all know about that. Do as thou wilt. That's that Aleister Crowley, man. That's what y'all know about it, man. That was a wicked dude. That was a wicked dude. But you gotta study. You gotta study the wickedness. Y'all study the wickedness. Like, why are these entertainers looking up to these cats, man? But again, like I said, we talking about magic and things along those lines, man. All these we ain't even gonna get into that, man. We ain't gonna get into some of the stuff that these people in the industry are practicing. We don't get into it. We ain't gonna get into it, man, because again, honestly, that's one of the reasons, like that's another reason or another way that they keep us in this passive state. This the reason why a lot of us, literally, we fear our power because they made us do that. See, they done made us associate evil with like manifestation. And I'm gonna tell y'all because early up, people were saying there ain't no difference between. I mean, there is a difference between manifestation and magic. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, it's literally people that view manifestation. When you start talking about manifestation, it's literally people that view that in the same realm as magic, and they view that as something that's evil. This has been by design. It's been by design, man. So when you start tapping into that source, when you start tapping into the subconscious mind, they have programmed us in a way to where we fear that. Oh, wow, that's what they practicing. That's what they practicing to create their reality here on earth. What we say, had a heaven on earth and things along those lines. They are tapping into that source. They are tapping into that power. But now they got you afraid to tap into that power. So when you tap into it or somebody taps into it that's around you, you call it evil, you call them wicked, you call it witchcraft, you call it black magic, this, that, and the third. When really you just tapping into that inner power. But they got us afraid to do that though. They got us afraid to do that. They got us fearing that. They got us fearing it. They got us viewing that as evil and wicked. Nothing evil and wicked about tapping into the subconscious. Nothing. Or what some people call alchemy. Like nothing about this type of stuff is wicked, man. But they got us viewing it along those lines. Hence why when a lot of people or a lot of black people reach a certain level of success, we got to associate it with something that's evil, because they have programmed us to where we believe that a black person can achieve a certain level of success without doing something wicked and evil. That's how programmed we are. So when we see a black person or we see black people reaching a certain status, we say, man, they had to do this, that, and the third. So we don't think it's possible for black people to just manifest a certain type of reality without having to, what we say, sell their soul. Now, of course, some of this type of stuff is going on, but that's not the case all the time. It's not the case all the time at all. It's not the case all the time. I mean, you got plenty of successful black people, man, that manifested a powerful reality without having to sell their soul. So again, that's how we program, man. We don't think that it's possible. Oh man, they must have had to do this, that, and the third. Nah, they just put in the work. They wrote something down and they manifested that reality. There's nothing wicked behind it, but that's how they got us programmed to view it. That's how they got us programmed to view it. Let you be black and you start talking about alchemy, and that's what you utilize to reach a certain level of success. Man, them other black people that then heard you say that, they gonna be like, oh, this person talking, they evil, they wicked. Or a city rep. It depends on who you talk to, man. Because like I said, I'm tapping into consciousness. I'm tapping into the subconscious mind. I'm tapping into that source. And that source is within me, man. That's the source for me. That's the source for me. So again, like I said, Q the Saint, peace, what's happening? It depends on who you are talking to. Because again, we can start getting into the science of everything being energy, and then that everything that's energy, that all can be a stream of consciousness. And again, we already know how the mind works, from the standpoint of we didn't all had dreams. Some of us, we didn't meditated and we didn't tapped into certain things while we have meditated. So we know the power of the mind in that regard. You know what I'm saying? So we know the type of things that we can accomplish or achieve mentally if we just focus or if we just relax. You know, so we know, some of us know the power that the mind possesses because we have been in those states to where we have activated or tapped in to the mind on that particular level. Some of the most brilliant minds that they have us worshiping, like Albert Einstein and things along those lines, they were literally in a meditative state when they came up with some of their theories. Literally, they were in a meditative state. Like I was studying Einstein, he was literally in a meditative state, and that's how that vision came to him. He's in a meditative state. This is what happens. Anybody that meditated, anybody that has been in that meditative state, y'all know things come to you when you do that. It depends on what type of seeds you plant in the mind in regards to what comes to you. Like literally. Like literally. So again, I say you are the source. Because without you, none of this is possible in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So I say you are the source. Because if you remove you, none of this exists. So you are the source. You are the source because you literally bringing everything into existence via your mind, via your perception, via your eyesight, via your insight. Like you are bringing everything into existence based on how you perceive it. So you are the source, literally. Again, that's a reality that a lot of people cannot fathom because a lot of people don't really understand what I'm saying by you being the source. Yes, this other stuff would exist outside of you existing, but if you didn't exist, you would not know about this other stuff existing. So you literally bringing this reality into existence via your perception. How would I be able to have this conversation with you all if I did not exist? How would you be able to have a conversation with me or a dialogue with me if you did not exist? So again, you are the source. You are the source. When something is manifest, you are the source. It would not have gotten done or accomplished if you didn't exist, because you accomplished it. So how can you accomplish something without you existing? That makes you the source. So again, if you manifest something, if you accomplish something, please tell me how it's possible without you existing. Then you didn't accomplish it. You wouldn't accomplish it. So again, I need to know how it's possible for me to accomplish anything without me actually existing to accomplish it in the first place. So I'm the source. So when I accomplish something, I have to exist in order to accomplish it. So again, man, I tell people all the time, we sleep on the power of ourselves. We sleep on how powerful we are. We sleep on us being the source of that power. We sleep on it all the time. We always searching for things outside of ourselves. We always searching for things outside of ourselves. Not knowing and understanding and realizing that we got a lot of power right within ourselves, man. It's right here. You don't understand that you looking at the source and you look right into the mirror. You are that source. Why do you feel like it must be a source outside of you? So that is the question that I must ask a lot of times, man, because again, if you don't exist, none of this really matters. You don't exist. You don't exist at all. So again, that's why I tell people all the time, you are the source. You made that happen. Because again, you had to exist to make it happen. So if you didn't exist, you couldn't have made it happen. So you are the source, man. There's nothing wrong about that. It's nothing evil about me saying that you are the source, that we are the source. Nothing evil about it. A lot of people view that as evil and they start talking crazy when I start saying things like that. Nah, that's an actual fact. Because again, please tell me how something can be accomplished by you without you. So I need for somebody to display that type of manifestation where I'm accomplishing something without me existing to accomplish it, but still saying I accomplished it. Nah, it's impossible. So again, those uncomfortable truths that we must accept or learn to accept, or at least semi just be open to. But we don't like to give ourselves a lot of credit, man, because again, we've been conditioned to not view ourselves as powerful. Powerless is how we view ourselves. So we don't think that we're capable of doing these things. So we think that it must be some supreme supernatural force outside of ourselves that's making all of this happen, because we're not that powerful. We not that powerful. We not. I'm not capable of doing that. Hence why you go back to pyramids, things our ancestors built and did. And it was like instead of giving our people credit for the pyramids, we were like, oh no, it had to be some alien, some extraterrestrial intervention. Some giants had to, you know what I'm saying, all type of theories. Instead of nope, we just being brilliant enough to create these pyramids, man, to construct these pyramids. Nope. Aliens, somebody came from outer space. That's the only way that they could have did that. Come on, man. Don't do my peoples like that. Don't do my ancestors like that, man. They communicated in ways that we couldn't fathom communicating to this day. We think these cell phones, we think these smartphones or something, man. Go back to the days of our ancestors, how they was communicating, utilizing water, utilizing the frequency in water. Like that's how they was communicating. That's how they was able to convey messages. That's a little bit more advanced than these smartphones, man, to me. They were still knowledgeable in regards to what was going on the other side. Like, come on, man. They just had ways of communication that were crazy, like crazy, that we have not been able to duplicate at all. That's like the pyramids. They were like, nah, man, nah, it couldn't have been just a regular humans create these pyramids. Impossible. So they had to create a million theories, man, million different theories in regards to how the pyramids were built, simply because they don't know how to build them to this day. They can't do it. They can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So now we gonna give credit to somebody from outer space. That's what we gonna do. Then got you believing it too. Got you believing it. Got you literally believing that some beings came from outer space to help build the pyramids. Got people believing that. Not that it was some regular people that look like me, look like you built them. No, they got you believing that they had to have it was divine intervention. Some people came from another planet and helped them. That's the only way it's possible. They got y'all believing that there's no way that somebody like me, somebody like you, we built them. Nah, that wasn't possible. That wasn't possible. That's not possible. We can't do that. Well, I'm here to tell y'all it's possible, and it's possible. Not only is it possible, but it's happened, or that's what happened. That's what I'm here to tell you. That's what I'm here to tell you. I don't care about aliens existing or not existing. But one thing I can say, listen, them pyramids were not built by these people that they talking about. They were built by people that look like me, people that look like you. And that's just a fact. You ain't about to downplay the power of my people, man. They built them pyramids, man, for sure. Built them pyramids, like that's what we did. That's what we did. That's what our ancestors did. They built the pyramids, man. That's what they did. That's what they did. So again, man, they got us fearing that. They got us fearing that power, man. They got us fearing that power. So when you come across a person that's really like in tune with themselves, man, in tune with that power, man, that's a feared person. That's a feared person, man, because that person, you can't enslave that person. You can't enslave a person, man, that knows how powerful they are. You can't enslave that person. You cannot enslave that person. Again, that's why a lot of times when you get a lot of these people that's the head of these religions, they fail to teach the truth to their congregation. Because if they really taught them the truth, then you would not need that pastor, that imam, that priest, whatever you want to call them. They would not need them because again, all of that power they would find out exists within themselves. Anthony Peace, Consul Peace, what's happening? Our city for sure. Yeah, clocks in. I definitely got to make that. Hey, I definitely got to make that pilgrimage. Kuma for sure. And I'm gonna give y'all, man. I was talking. I forgot. I think it was a client. I was talking about that with somebody, man, because you know how they have Arabanized Egypt, so they got you thinking that the original Egyptians were these Arab people that we know today. And I was telling somebody how we know that that's not an actual fact. The original Egyptians, Cometians, whatever you want to call them, man. The original ones, they was blacker than me, you know. So I was building on that history with somebody like these Arab, like the Arab people that you see. Those are the people that conquered it. Um, yeah, they conquered the original Egyptians, and now they've been over there since they conquered it. So now they got us viewing it in that light. They got us viewing it like people that's either white or Arabanized, that they are the original inhabitants of Egypt. We know that to be a lie. But that person went on to tell me something along the lines of, I forget what they said, but I think either they went to the pyramids or they viewed the pyramids, and they was just like how the Arabs that's over there, they have a total disregard for the pyramids. Dude was like it was all trash by the pyramids. It was like cigarettes by the pyramids, and he was saying that they don't have no respect for these ancient artifacts because they didn't build them. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like that's not their history, so they don't have no respect for it. So they was basically saying how the Arabs or the Arabs that's over there now disrespecting the pyramid simply because it's not a part of their heritage and their culture. So it's all trash around them, cigarettes and all that type of stuff. And I was like, man, that's crazy. It's crazy. Answering that Peace Queen, what's happening? Yeah, so it was like, man, it's all type of, you know what I'm saying, just disrespect goes on around the pyramids. And I was like, man, I want to go to the pyramids. I want to go there to see, but I feel like if I go there and I see that disrespect, man, I may get held as a prisoner. Because I'm like, man, I don't think I'll be able to tolerate that, man. I was like, man, they gonna be in for a rude awakening and they keep doing that. They keep playing around. Yeah, just man, I've heard about that too. It's like, man, don't disrespect the pyramids. I'm like, that's not what y'all want to do. That's not what y'all want to do, man. I was seeing something, man. I forget, man. I got to paraphrase it because again, y'all know, like I said, I was reading a lot of things on not read, I was reading a lot, and I was also watching a lot of documentaries, and I was doing a knowledge to them digging up tombs of like our ancient kings back in the day, like the ancient Egyptian kings. And it was a documentary that was like all the white folks that was digging up these tombs, like they mysteriously died after digging these joints up, like the mummies and whatnot. I think King Tut was one of them. It was like every time they every time they tapped in and tampered with the tomb, whoever tampered with it, they ended up mysteriously dying. I was like, okay. I can't remember if that was King Tut. I forgot, man, who I was studying, but they was like every time they tampered with the tomb, whoever tampered with it, Whoever tampered with it and whoever was associated with the tampering, they mysteriously died. And I was like, see, that's what you get. But that was a documentary on YouTube. I don't even know if it's still up. But everybody who was tampering with the tombs, they would end up mysteriously dead. Yeah, Magic. Yeah, King Tut. Basically King Tut, because that's King Tut. That's why I gave you the shortened version of his name. Tutankhamun, I believe, is how you accurately pronounce that name. But King Tut is what he's most known as. Create strategy for sure. Yeah, just what I'm saying. They need to have. I'm saying they need to quit. They need to quit messing with it. It's not there for you to mess with it. But I was like, man, when I did the knowledge to that, I was like, okay, okay, letting you know, stop messing with the tomb. But then what they'll go do? Somebody still go mess with it, thinking that this a game. They'll still go mess with it, and then the same thing happens, same outcome. Like, man, quit playing. Akuma, man, I'm telling you, man, they be fascinated with the wrong thing, man. Fascinated with the wrong things out here. Leave the tombs alone. Leave the tombs alone. Like, why are you messing with that tomb? Like, just don't mess with it. But they can't fathom that though. They gonna mess with it. Yeah, God is for sure, man. Stop messing with. Please stop messing with that. They ain't not bothering you. They in the tomb. They what they say. Rest in peace. Like they literally trying to do that. Why are you trying to dig up the tomb? What is that tomb? What has that tomb done to you? We ain't all guinea pigs, whether we dead or alive. We not striving to be guinea pigs out here. Leave us alone. They can't even leave us alone when we are dead and gone. Akuma, yeah, because black, but we not finna do it. We not finna mess with that tomb, man. You know how black people get when it comes to superstition, man. You tell us once not to mess with something like that. We like, all right, you say what? You say if you dig up that tomb, something gonna happen to me. All right, I ain't touching that tomb. You ain't gotta tell black people twice, man. You ain't gotta tell us twice, man. You know all the type of superstitions that come with being black, man. We got all type of superstitions. We ain't fooling with it. We ain't finna take no chance. Like, nah, I ain't even gonna rock with that. I ain't gonna take no chance at all. Carol Peach, what's the word? What's the word, man? We on all type of topics right now, man. We started off on topic, but now we didn't kind of segue into some other stuff. Just yeah, for sure. We ain't going like Jaws, like the movie and stuff like that. Now we ain't living that type of life. We ain't going out there striving to mess with these animals, man. Oh dang, y'all just said y'all yeah, we ain't yeah, we ain't striving to, we ain't doing that. Yeah, we ain't living that life. We ain't doing that. Crocodile hunter. Look at what happened. We ain't not doing what are we messing with? It ain't that serious, man. Oh yeah, Magic man, Egypt, Ethiopia, just West Africa in general. Like I said, the doggone tribe, all of them, man, well advanced, well advanced. But like they still don't understand how the doggone tribe, like how they was able to have the knowledge that they had on like the solar system without instruments. Like they still can't fathom that. They still don't understand how certain tribes in Africa was able to be that accurate about the solar system, about the universe, the sun, moon, and the stars without telescopes, without instruments. They don't understand how they was able to do that. I got a book on the doggone tribe right now that's like the first chapter in the book. They was like they don't understand how these people had that knowledge without instruments. They don't understand. They don't understand at all. I'm trying to see if I got that book somewhere. But they don't understand. They couldn't understand at all. Like, man, how did these people know this about the universe without instruments? Because when they got the instruments, all the conclusions that they came to, the conclusions had already been reached by the people without the instruments. They don't understand it. Oh yeah, yeah, Magic. The yeah, man, the Mayans. I remember the end of world prophecy surrounding the Mayans when people really didn't understand the Mayan calendar. That let me know that people don't like to read. What was that, 2012? That let me know when people didn't like to read, man, when they thought the world was going to end based on the Mayan calendar. When you actually read and studied the Mayan calendar, there was nothing about that Mayan calendar that said the world was about to end. Even the Mayans, Like the ancient Mayans, when you studied them, they was like, dude, that count like this ain't got nothing to do with the end of the world. Like it was crazy. That's when I realized people really don't research. Create strategy. I'm already knowing, man. They be using our artifacts. It's crazy out here, man. It makes you mad sometimes, man. Justin, doggone DOGON tribe. Doggone tribe. DOGON. Yeah, man. When that Mayan count, I mean, people were straight in fear, and that just let me know how gullible and naive people are, and how impressionable they are. I'm like, all you had to do was type in the Mayan, like the truth about the Mayan calendar, whatever, and you would have came across that reality. Like you would have had nothing to fear. Like once I researched it, and it didn't even take long, I was like, oh, oh, it was actually something positive when you actually like studied the Mayan calendar when it came around that time of the year. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So this is what everybody is afraid of. This is why y'all think the world's ending. Okay, okay. I guess y'all haven't done any type of research, any type of studying. I'm talking about, man. I get crazy with it, man. I was googling it. Obviously, man. I was watching YouTube videos with actual Mayans, like people that was into the culture. Like I was studying all of that. Yeah, goddess, man. They obsessed with us no matter what state we in. No matter what state, they want to get our organs. They want to get us while we dead. Like they want us to donate our bodies to science, like all type of stuff, man. Then if we don't want to donate the body to science, they try to kidnap us so they can get the organs anyway. All type of stuff, man. It's real in the field out here, man. Real in the field. Real in the field. But again, when you start talking about this type of stuff, conspiracy theory, man, they want to label you all these type of things, man. So it is what it is. When you go against the status quo, it's always a conspiracy. That's just the way the world is. It's always a conspiracy. You go against the status quo. When you're not afraid to challenge traditional belief and things along those lines, when you thinking outside of the box, the several boxes, when you thinking outside of all of these boxes, then again, it's a conspiracy theory, all that type of nonsense. So it is what it is. I've been labeled that for about 10 plus years now. So I get it. I get it. It is what it is, man. I've been labeled a conspiracy theorist, man, for the longest. That comes with my name. Like if somebody created a Wikipedia page on my name and they probably put conspiracy theorist or something along those lines in the definition, in the description. That's probably how they would define me. Oh yeah, guys, consume for sure. And just yeah. Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, that's who gave me all I needed to know in regards to what you just typed. Francis Cress Wilson broke that fascination down for me. And like the stuff that she was breaking down, I hadn't even thought about. So when I studied Francis Cress Wilson, rest in rising power to that queen right there, a very powerful queen, goes under the radar. But when I read her book, I was like, that man, I wasn't even thinking about some of them things, man. She had in that book. I was like, whoa, I just wasn't even thinking about it, man. But she broke all of that down. She broke all of that down. Yeah, Kansu for sure, man. They don't know how to stay to themselves at all, which is what we strive to do. But again, people don't want to leave us alone. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, that's what we striving to do. We striving to get this information now. We just striving to push this positivity, all this good stuff, man. But people don't like to leave us alone. People like to bother us. They do not want to allow us to be great in peace. Dead just for sure, man. Francis Cress Wilson, she she broke it down. And then even some of their favorite philosophers or whatever you call it, psychologists, therapy, whatever you call these dudes, but like Sigmund Freud, like You study him and find out, you know what I'm saying, the fascination, the obsession with that joint. Like it's crazy, man. Like the it's crazy. The symbolism is crazy. Francis Cress Wilson put me on game with the symbolism. Like stuff is crazy. I was like, man, hold on. I was like, nah, man. But yeah, man, the fascination, the obsession is crazy. Like I said, they be more fascinated with my hair and want to touch it and stuff like that, more so than my own people. Like I said, they've conditioned my own people to hate my hair, hate the locks. You know what I'm saying? Like they label you all type of stuff, man. Your own people will label you all type of dirty, dusty, and all this type of stuff when you got locks. You know what I'm saying? Like again, like this is ancient hairstyle for men. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't got us programmed where we label this hairstyle in a certain type of light, man. But white folks, they fascinated with it. Oh my gosh, I love your hair. Can I touch it? Little stupid stuff like that. Like, no, you cannot touch it. You know, like, no, you cannot touch it. It's your own people that be like, ah, man, you got that mop on your head and you nappy hair this, nappy hair that. You need to be clean cut this, clean cut that. Come on, man. Come on now. Justin, yep, I heard about that joint. I know all about that particular book. But yeah, man, the type of resentment and just the hatred that your own people give you when you stick to your roots is like, come on, man, leave me alone, man. Clocks in for sure. Yeah, I'll be like, just leave me alone. Like, why is my hair bothering you? Like, why is my hair bothering you? And it's crazy because I was talking about this with somebody else. Um, so when you just do things naturally, it's just crazy the amount of hate you get. But then we out here applauding people that's getting surgery. We out here applaud somebody that's throwing some fake hair in their head. We applaud like, oh man, you girl, you look good, this, that, and the third. But when you grow it naturally, oh, now it's a mop, and now it's this, that, and the third. Or if you work out and you get your body naturally, oh, you working out too much, you this, that, and the third. But somebody gets surgery, somebody slap on the wig, somebody throwing the weed, then we giving them all type of compliments and praise. But when somebody do something naturally, now we want to criticize them to death. That's crazy. That's the world we live in. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like, dude, I just grew my hair out. That's a problem to you. But then this person slapped on a wig, and now you want to compliment the wig. Ah, it's a nice wig. This, then the third. I grew my hair out naturally, and I've been growing my hair for almost 20 years. And it's like you just want to talk bad about it. Oh, Anthony, man, listen. Ooh, man, listen. The clients that I get, and I've heard this firsthand. The clients that I get that reach their goal and they get to their desired body, like their desired weight, and they may get like, let's just say 130, 140 pounds. They literally have family members that say, why are you still working out? You're gonna lose too much weight. You're gonna get real skinny. Got to be the dumbest stuff I've heard in my life. But this has happened. This is common. It's common. Like it's like the only reason you work out is to lose weight. That is stupid. That is just stupid. But I got plenty of clients that they got to deal with that. They didn't reach their weight, and people in their family like, girl, you start working out so much, you're gonna keep losing. I can't even make that type. I can't make that type of stuff up. I got plenty of clients, man. That's the testimony. So I'm like, oh, okay. All right, that's the type of stuff we dealing with. That's the world. That's the world we living in, man. That's the world we living in. Why you working out so much? You gonna get skinny. Okay. Like you can't work out and gain weight and gain muscle. Like it's just stupid, man. People just be sounding stupid. But y'all, man, with that being said, man, I didn't got my point across for the day, man. This is a nice discussion, nice dialogue. We always keep it peaceful. We don't deal with the ignorance or the toxicity. But man, it's a wonderful Saturday, man. I gotta get some rest in, man. Do a little bit of knowledge and chill on out. Y'all know what it is, man. I gotta rejuvenate. So I'm definitely not gonna tap in with y'all tomorrow, but I should see y'all Monday or Tuesday. Whenever I see y'all, y'all know it's always peace, man. But y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend out here, man. And I'm gonna try to see y'all at the top of next week. So y'all be easy out here, man. Get some healthy foods in, eat those fruits and those veggies, get some rest in, meditate, do your affirmations, do some journaling, all that good stuff, man. I'm out though. Peace.